Well, the camera's on.
We've been duly warned.
Should have you call the meeting.
I don't know, I don't, but it's 8:01, so.
Okay. 7:01. Okay, it is 7:01, so I'll call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Garner?
Here.
Councilmember Garrett?
Here.
Councilmember Vogel?
Here.
Councilmember Barnett? Here. Councilmember Stanko?
Here.
Councilmember Reeser?
Here.
Council President Jennings?
Here. Okay, for tonight's meeting, there was an executive session in which personnel matters were discussed. This time, open it up to public comments in regards to agenda items only. Are there any public comments? Okay. See no indication, we'll move on. You have before you the council meetings of the June 13 council meeting. Entertain a motion to approve or amend. A motion to approve, second. And a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Consulting engineers, could this be Mr. McCarthy coming in?
Not unless it's wearing games.
I find that highly unlikely.
Are you wearing heels?
He said, could this be the consulting engineer? And I said, not unless he's wearing
There's a woman
heels.
walking up the hall
Ah,
with
see?
the heel. And she stopped. She stopped at the executive session time.
Okay, Jim, you need a minute? You want us to come back to you? Or
No,
do you have anything to?
everything's in the report. This only the update is, the pedestrian bridge and the culvert at, behind the fence for departments are out to bid. And the public works, renovations, expansion goes out to bid next, Wednesday.
Okay. Is there anything else? Mr. Baez, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I'll
anything?
add some things after the infrastructure.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, entertain a motion to approve the consulting engineer's report. Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You're welcome to come in.
Do you need another chair?
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Okay, we'll now go with the police chief and mayor's report. Chief Phillips, Mr. Mayor.
I'd like to thank the members of council and the staff here for the good wishes I received while I was in the shop for repairs last week. And the chief will present his report, of course, and we will both entertain any questions. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. For the month of June, we were available for 3,495 hours of on-duty time. We handled 679 calls. Of those, 148 were in our business districts and 41 were in our residential communities. It took us an average of 9.7 minutes to arrive on location with an average of 26.19 minutes spent on calls. For the month of June, our training consisted of Lesley, chemical agent and flashbang instructor certification and recertification, GST level 1 instructor certification, which is a defensive tactics instructor level course, and our Police One Academy trainings for the month were de-escalation and reasonable use of force. Our civilian staff conducted stress management training on Police One Academy. We gave assistance a total of 17 times and received assistance a total of 16 times throughout the month. The traffic signs were placed in the area of each pool, one on the hillside and one on this side of the borough, on Evans Avenue and Wingert Road. The speed limit at both locations is 25 miles per hour. The 85th percentile speed at the Evans Avenue was 24.8, and Wainwright Road was 23.58. Travis Ritter on the 14th of June was presented the 2022 Citizens Award by the Berks County Chiefs of Police Association. I nominated Mr. Ritter for that award. He was the victim, or one of the victims, at the Centers for Digestive Disease shooting incident back in December of last year. I really think if it wasn't for the actions that he took, putting himself in peril, that situation could have been worse than what it was. So I nominated, and they thankfully awarded him that award. We presented it to him at the picnic. On the 21st, our officers that are in BCERT participated in a drill at the Reading Hospital. That was a hostage situation. It was a full drill with the full team. I bring it to your attention because our officers are involved in BCERT, but those are the types of incidents that are thankfully very rare. But to know that we have several officers that are training in those types of situations, so that if, heaven forbid, anything like that should happen here, we have some people that it's not going to be maybe the first time they're dealing with something like that. So those were nice, really nice training. We were there for a while, and everybody did a great job. I presented 2 more active shooter presentations in the month. I have my last one that I have on the book so far tomorrow morning, so it'll be the best one next month that I talked about. And then at the last Fire and Police Committee, I just wanted to make sure that he's got in here. We discussed, and I believe you'll be talking about later tonight, the extension for the Army Palmer Candy parking, the Heights section, the approval of an MOU between the school district and approval of the Fitzy's Run event. Our, as always, traffic stops out of our top 10 or the incidents handled was the top incident for the month. We had a total of 52 crashes. We gave out a total of 246 citations, 1 incident parking tickets. We arrested 28 individuals, 3 were juveniles. We dealt with 2 wanted individuals, and we had a total of 40 Part 1 and 2 offenses, which brought us to 639 regular incidents handled. When I had the breakdown of those incidents, of those 40, you can see we're sitting at 76% clearance rate so far for the first half of the year, so we're doing pretty well there. When compared to the last couple of years, we're just below 19, but above the years since then. We went through 870 gallons of fuel. We patrolled just under 10,000 miles. And between all of our fines and requests for reports and such, we brought in just over $11,000. DUIs were our highest incident that we made the arrest for the month, just beating retails by 1. And our busiest time for the month, our busiest time was during the 10 o'clock hour, the 10 p.m. hour of the day with 61 total incidents. And Thursday was the busiest day at 134. And after that, I have the reports for the speed summaries that I discussed already around our pools. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Anybody have any questions for the chief or the mayor? Okay, hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the police chief and mayor's report.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mayor, Chief. On to the fire chief's report. Chief Hackman.
Good evening, council. For the month of June, there was 252 responses system-wide, out of which Wyomissing responded to 149, consisting of 25 fires, 30 motor vehicle accidents, 32 QRS medical calls, with 13 patient contacts, 23 hazardous conditions, 38 alarm activations, and 1 fire police call. Total responses in the borough 94, Spring Township was 26, and outside of the borough was 29. We had 74 overlapping calls consisting of 35 between Spring and Wyomissing, 11 with just Wyomissing, and 28 with Spring. We had no Narcan administration Our busiest day of the week was Thursday with 49 incidents, and the busiest hour of the day was 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with 21 incidents.
It's
We
the
had-
same as the police.
Yeah.
No, it's 10 PM though, wasn't
10 PM was our.
it? Yeah,
I-
it's 10 AM.
I can tell you July is going to be Sunday. Fire damage for the month of June was $136,500. Saved property for the month of June was $3,373,750. That consisted of 3 building fires, 1 exposure to the 3 building fires, and 1 vehicle fire. Average turnout per incident was 4.5 personnel. We had 23 volunteer responses for the month, and total responses to the end of June was 912.
Any questions for the fire chief? Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you again, chief. Okay, on to committee reports, and we're gonna start with the library this evening. Mrs. Barnett.
The library board has not met since our last meeting. At our last meeting, I reported on the June 12 meeting. The minutes in our packet have not been approved by the library board. That is my report.
Short and sweet. I did hear unofficially that the library raised $3,000 in rubber duckies. You did not, Councilman Reeser won though,
The family one.
the family.
I paid for the tickets, of course, I didn't see the
There
money.
you go.
On the bright side, I paid for the tickets, they never got put in.
Well, you know, to make it work, not worse, but my daughter got second prize.
That's right, I forgot that, yeah.
What are the odds of that
We
happening?
have an investigation.
We've been buying those things since day one, and we've never gotten anything. Then one year, daughter ends, whatever.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the library board report. Motion and second, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Infrastructure report, Mr. Brunner.
Infrastructure Committee met on June 19th. Looks like I was not there, we had some colorful conversation, but what needs to be brought in front of the board? First off is, there is a motion that is needed to table, approve, or deny authorizing payment of payment application number 2 in the amount of $75,414.75 to Wexcon Inc. for the 2022 water main replacement work, and I'll make the recommendation to approve.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brunner?
Yes.
Councilmember Derrick?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James?
Yes.
Okay. The next thing is a motion that needed to table, approve, or deny authorizing payment application number 1 in the amount of $172,382 even to Sewer Specialty Services for manhole to manhole lining work, and I'll make a recommendation to approve.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brunner?
Yes.
Councilmember Derrick?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James?
Yes.
Moving on, a motion is needed to table, approve, and deny authorizing the lowest qualified bid of $102,994.88 received from Allsville Construction for the 50/50 sidewalk work, and I'll make a recommendation to approve. Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, a motion is needed to table, approve, and deny authorizing payment of payment application number 2 in the amount of $128,266.43 to Construction Master Services LLC for the 2023 street improvement project or projects, and I will make the recommendation to approve.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brunner?
Yes.
Councilmember Jarrett?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes.
Okay, then we have a motion that needs to be tabled, approved, or denied, ratifying the motion made during the June 19th, 2023 Infrastructure Committee meeting to approve the latest schematic floor plans for the reduced public works project and the fees to redesign, bid, and award approximately $80,000 for actuarial, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, HVAC site work, and to have FERC Construction as one of the representatives. And I'll make a recommendation to approve the ratification.
Second.
We have a motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, do you want to? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, and we have a motion needed to table, approve, deny, authorizing submission of a survey form to the Reading Area Transportation Authority study for the two bridges on Old Mill Road to be considered for future improvement projects. And I'll make the recommendation to approve that submission.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay. Then we have a motion that is needed to table, approve, deny accepting the residential donation of up to $10,000 to purchase and install a water fountain in the parklands. And I'll go ahead and make a recommendation to approve that donation.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
All right, and I've been practicing this, so if I screw up, I apologize. We also have an ordinance number 1436-2023, which is an ordinance of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, amending the Code of Ordinances of the Borough of Wyomissing by repealing Chapter 1 entitled Administration and Government, Part 2 entitled Boards and Commissions, Letter B entitled Park and Shade Tree Commission in its entirety, amending Chapter 1 entitled Administration and Government, Part 2 entitled Boards and Commissions, Letter E entitled Infrastructure Committee, Section 355, entitled Responsibility in its entirety, and amending the Chapter 16 entitled Parks and Recreation, Part 1 entitled Parkland and Recreation Land, to replace all other references to the Park and Shade Tree Commission with the Infrastructure Committee. So I need we need a motion to either table, approve, or deny the enactment of ordinance number 1436-2023 as related to repealing sections of the Borough Code related to the Park and Shade Tree Commission being disbanded.
So-
Okay, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions on the motion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Ordinance number 1436-2023 is now enacted.
Jim, I won't forget, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Just a couple things. The street work with CMS is basically complete, except for, at some point in the future, a section of Parkside Drive South will get a what we call microsurfacing, just a very thin coating on top. But other than that, all the heavy work is done. The contractor did start the Berkshire Boulevard work this week, which is good because we are limping along there with the existing station, so it was good timing. And as far as the rain Saturday and Sunday, it was difficult, but really no damage except the Fourth and Only pump station went underwater. But other than that, no trees down, no major issues, and I feel fortunate about that.
None of the usual suspect areas.
All the usual suspect areas flooded, except for the Lincoln Branding Line area.
And
When I
we just
drove
talked
out
about
there,
that.
I was expecting the worst and saw nothing. So,
I asked Chuck Sack, texted Chuck Sackman to see how he
Yeah.
did, and I kinda did it with sheepishly, and
yeah,
he said it worked out very
yeah,
well.
yeah. That's good.
Good test.
That was a really good test. Okay, I have nothing else to add.
Okay, hearing none, make a motion to approve the infrastructure report.
So, second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Bruner. Personnel Committee, Mr. Mogul.
There's several motions here. Jim, if you want to jump in here, explain a few things every once in a while, it'd be helpful. A motion is needed to accept the retirement notice submitted by Mark McLaughlin, Tree Department Lead, effective July 31, 2023. He's been with the Public Works for
30-plus years, yeah. And as I said at whatever meeting, I guess it was the personnel committee meeting, he'll be missed.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. So he's to be commended. Still need a motion. I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
If I don't sign it, does that mean he has to stay?
That's right.
Yes. Motion is needed to promote the current tree
Wait a
department.
minute, wait a minute, wait.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Reluctantly, the ayes have it.
Sorry, I didn't mean
That's okay.
that. A motion is needed to table, approve, or deny promoting the current tree department employee, Greg Shearer, to the tree department lead position to replace Mark McClung on a 90-day probationary period effective July 1, 2023. Any comments about Greg, Jim?
No, he's another long-term employee, been here 20-plus years himself, and was the obvious candidate.
Jaime?
And another really good guy.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Motion is needed to ratify the motion that was made during the June 20th, 2023 Personnel Committee meeting to suspend the current 90-day probationary period for Craig Heck in his current building and grounds lead position and promote him to the Public Works lead position effective June 20, that's right, honestly, June 2023, subject to a new 90-day probationary period. If he, which I assume is Greg Heck, returns to his former role as building and grounds lead, his 90-day probationary period would resume where it was suspended. This motion shall be ratified, or is asked to be ratified during this council meeting, and I make the motion to ratify.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
More chess moves here. Motion is needed to table, approve, or deny authorizing the promotion of building and grounds employee Steve Smith to the building and grounds lead position effective upon successful completion of his new employee probationary period. Any comments, Jim?
Nope, again, the obvious, not been here long, but the most skilled, I'm not gonna use the word handyman, but the most skilled buildings and grounds person we've had ever.
Wow, that's some kind of act. I will make that motion. To authorize the promotion.
We have a motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And the last is a motion to authorize the advertisement and hiring of a public works maintenance employee contingent upon background screening and physical. Second.
We have a motion and second for advertising, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes, I'm sorry. Motion approved.
Right. That's the police member.
Okay, entertain a motion to accept the Personnel Committee report.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Mogul.
Thank you.
We'll go on to the rec board, Mrs. Barnett.
All right, you have before the committee report, which will be approved at the next meeting next week. Obviously, we got Fourth of July parade was the highlight of the last month's activities. Pete, would you like to speak to that?
We had, I think John estimated we had between 25 and 30,000 people on the route. We ordered 16,000 flags and ran out. It was very well attended. Everyone seemed to have a good time. The fireworks on July 3rd, I've heard nothing but fabulous feedback from that. So, and hopefully we'll continue doing that in the future. We might want to separate the moonlight swim from the fireworks in the same facility. We might want to contact the school and see if we can light the fireworks off from the baseball field, which is isolated enough where we're not causing any property damage or anything. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that would allow the swimmers to stay in the pool and not have to be kicked out. So.
I still think that went as well as it could go.
Yes.
You're fantastic, yeah.
Now, we have a motion regarding the basketball rims and Happy Hollow Peak. I think in the past you described the recurring problems of people using that facility inappropriately, speaking loudly, having boom boxes, drinking garbage, and
Profanity.
yes, and we took baby steps, warning signs, then locking it for a week, then giving privileges back, and now we're down to this.
We're currently testing, taking 2 parallel rims down to basically affect half-court basketball as opposed to full-court basketball. And from what I can gather from the residents around both Happy Hollow and Wyomissing Hills, that's very effective. The half-court still allows people to go down and enjoy the sport of basketball without attracting a full-court crowd, which is where we get a lot of the nonsense from.
What a shame.
Yeah,
It's
certainly not something we want to do, but
This considered temporary,
as long as, yeah,
as long as it's working.
correct.
If it stays permanent, I would make a recommendation that the rec board start looking for repurposing those basketball courts to some other thing. At least
Well,
one.
on the other hand, it's adult recreation, which
There's 2 courts, so you need one basket, 2 courts.
I understand, but a lot of the things that people propose as alternatives are more child-centered, and so we
I would just challenge directly to repurpose something if they could.
direct
Yeah,
the
it's a shame not to use the space.
So on the subject of this motion, does it require, if we pass this now, it's not temporary, it's permanent? It doesn't say it's temporary, it doesn't say it's.
Well, that's why I asked it, but I guess we can always undo what we've done.
No, I understand, but it takes a council meeting to do it.
Correct.
So we should actually make it.
It seems.
I would agree that the motion be amended to say temporarily.
Yeah, you should be in the hands of somebody out there running this.
Right.
Maybe we should just say the rec director is authorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So that, the motion would have to be slightly changed.
Yes, so I appreciate a motion to authorize the rec director to remove 1 basketball rim from Happy Hollow Playground, as well as for the Wyomissing Hills Playground,
As necessary.
when appropriate, to combat behaviors that become hindrance to surrounding neighbors and park roads.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and second. Is there any further questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. It is a shame, you're right. Yep. Just one side comment on that, if I may. The identification of 2 individuals trying to break into the West Reading facilities, recreation facilities. Can we tie them to any of our problems? Or aren't you at liberty to say that at this time?
The cameras down there have been, we have our facilities we're using for several different things now,
Okay.
so.
But you have the cameras running.
Cameras are always running.
Yeah, I mean, all of them are installed now.
I just hope we catch these people that are creating issues with our.
Perhaps going forward, we could consider repurposing those current basketball courts and building a new half,
Do what?
a new half court somewhere else nearby.
Okay.
All right, we have we've also, situation where some people would want to rent the stone house at the same time as the live page is being staged in the stone house. So we are recommending that people be required to rent it essentially the entire facility. Pete, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
It's pretty straightforward. A lot of our 5Ks emanate from the Stone House, so we're asking that people who are running those 5Ks have, if they need access to bathrooms, some sort of like water, things like that, they're renting the Stone House at the same time. Otherwise, we would be renting that out potentially at the same time the 5Ks there, which would create a mess.
So you want them to rent that whole thing out?
Yeah.
That's if they're using the stone house, but if they're doing the runs back in the park system, that's totally different.
Correct. Yep, if they're emanating from the quarry area, they have facilities out there, they don't, you know.
There's only one run that goes, that starts and ends at the quarry. The rest is the stone house.
It would seem that everyone would want to do this. Is that a trick here somewhere?
No, we haven't codified that, so it gets kind of log jammy.
And we just have tools
So
required.
is it $5 or something?
Well, no, it's the normal fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve that they have to rent the stone house if they're emanating their run.
Is that going, we have runs that have been scheduled?
No, I think it's gotta be anybody who's approved, yeah.
Anybody that's not going to.
How many runs do you think you have that do that?
The issue was, there was a run, but I forget the names of the run, and somebody had rented the stone house for a party, and there was a run there, kinda at the same time.
Yeah, for park. Got it. See that, or just read, go ahead. Recommendation, we'll do it.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second? Is there any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Pete, is there anything else you'd like to add? But I asked the record report be approved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you, and again, to you and the rec board as a whole, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, both days.
I will pass that along on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, next will be the fire and police report, under the fire department. Just the, real quick, the average, response time, was 6 minutes and 26 seconds, and the average, turnout time, leaving the station, 1 minute and 46 seconds, which is well below the NFPA standards. We had discussed, and just for future discussions, the replacement of engine 79, and also the purchase of a second ladder apparatus. It was also noted that the time for a construction of an aerial piece of apparatus is 2 to 3 years time frame right now. Incredible. Okay. Chief Hackman's been working with Econ Partners for the submission of a grant application to provide funding for approximately $60,000 to $100,000 for new exercise equipment for the fire station. And this is a non-matching grant fund. The application had to be submitted by June 30th. The committee approved it, So here to ratify, let me read it. Okay, a motion is, to ratifying the motion made during the June 26, 2023 Fire and Police Committee meeting to submit the Municipal Fire Department Capital Fund or Capital Grant application and execution a letter of support for the Wyomissing Fire Department's fitness facility monitorization. And I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Okay, that's all. Oh, yes. Okay, the fire chief also reported that they will begin interviewing 6 candidates for firefighter's position beginning August the 8th. And on another note, the chief reported that Captain Ethan Holmes is and has been participating in an executive fire officer program through the National Fire Academy, of which only 4,659 people nationwide have been accepted into this program. This is quite a task, and he's to be commended for doing this all on his own. And he's been working with some of the finest firefighters and chiefs throughout the United States in talking to him. We wish him well on his final project, which will be focusing on firefighter mental health and awareness, utilizing various local resources to assist in his research. And if any of us can help him in achieving those resources, please pass that on to Michelle, so we can let him know. But he's to be commended for taking this daunting task on himself. Okay, under Western Berks Ambulance, they responded to 279 calls for service in the borough during the month, and Narcan was administered once in the month of May. Under the police departments, Chief Phillips received all the paperwork for the Fitz's 5K run, scheduled for Sunday, October the 29th, 2023 in the Park Lanes. And I'll entertain a motion, I'll make a motion that we approve that run.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, I'm also making a motion to approve authorizing the memorandum of understanding between the Wyomissing Area School District, the Wyomissing Police Department, and the West Reading Borough Police regarding procedures for handling matters within the school district as reviewed and approved by the borough solicitor. And I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, under the mayor proclamation, R.M. Palmer is requesting that we extend the no parking area so they can park, their employees can park. So under resolution number 2023-20, a resolution of the Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, extending for 90 days the mayoral order for temporary traffic regulations under the authority of Chapter 15 of the Wyomissing Code. And I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All those 91 days, excuse me. Thank you. I'll amend the motion to 91 days.
And I accept the amendment.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Further questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution number 2023-20 is approved. Okay. Joe, please. Okay, with regards to some traffic concerns and traffic flow on Wyomissing Boulevard in the vicinity of Cleveland and Lincoln Avenues, traveling towards Penn Avenue, detailed discussions were made, and the committee is making a motion, or is recommending, and I will make the motion, to deny taking further action pertaining to the traffic flow improvements on Wyomissing Boulevard approaching Penn, as to not limit on-street parking for residents. And again, I will make that motion. Motion and second.
This is a motion not to do anything.
Motion is not to do anything.
Right, that was the motion.
Although it could be,
The mayor,
it could be interpreted to that, to do some type of action that does not include limiting on-street parking for residents. But I don't think that's what he meant.
No, they denied,
So is it,
denied.
it's a table or deny any further action?
right, deny any further action. We do not want to restrict parking,
Right.
residents from parking in front of their homes.
But my point is, there's other things that can be done short of that.
Right,
But that wasn't something that was approved.
that's correct.
And do not require council.
Well, probably
Maybe,
would.
maybe not.
May or may not.
Are there any other questions? All those in favor?
Denied.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, the ayes have it, motion passes. Okay, we also are recommending, and I'll make the motion, to approve authorizing the Bradley Mayor 5K event to be held on August 12th, 2023 in the Parklands.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And we have another run, which will be the Miles for Maria 5K event to be held on August 13th in the Parklands, and I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And I will make a motion that we approve the fire and police committee report.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So does Palmer have a long-term solution to their parking issue? Because it's my understanding they're gonna move most of their operation up there. So the parking's not gonna get better. Is there, do they have a plan?
As
for
I
the future?
understand it, they are making arrangements for their executive staff to be moving into another location.
Oh, okay.
So those individuals will be leaving and making that room for.
Cause I heard
additional
everything's moving
employees.
over there from West Redstone.
Yeah, preliminarily, Chris, Jim, and Anderson and I met with them about a month and a half ago, and I would expect they'll eventually see land development plans for maybe a zoning hearing board hearing.
But that's not gonna solve the parking on a 91-day basis.
Correct.
It's my understanding the executives are going to be elsewhere.
The executives are staying there, they're moving some lower level admin people to Spring Street in the Kinsey. But that's only 18 people that they're talking about.
We'll need to revisit this again
Yeah.
in October.
Are we getting complaints from residents?
Any other questions? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the fire and police committee report.
I second that.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Okay, on to economic development, Mr. Mayor.
Unfortunately, I missed the meeting as I was in the shop for repairs, as I mentioned. But it was a meeting I'm really sorry that I missed. The folks from West Reading came over to visit. Mark Ratcliffe, who we have a close relationship with, updated us on what's going on the Main Street program and Penn Avenue specifically. There was a strong contingent of people from West Reading that came, which I'm especially happy to see that we're working so closely with them as we have so many common concerns. And they've really upped their game, frankly, and I applaud them for it. So that consisted of the bulk of the meeting, and you can read, of course, what was discussed. Michelle announced that in the upcoming July meeting, we're going to hear from Metropolitan Management Group, our colleagues over there, presenting another apartment complex proposal. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Any questions, anybody?
Yeah, I'll just make a comment. I've heard from several from West Reading officials that they were very much impressed with the interaction that we had, and that we just didn't sit there and shake our heads and, and wait for them to finish talking. But they really did impressed with the meeting, and they asked, "Can we come to any meeting?" We said, "You are always welcome at our meetings." So, like Mayor said, we have a great working relationship with our neighbors in West Reading, and let's keep that going. Anything else, Mr. Mayor? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the economic development report.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Finance and Administration, Mr. Durr.
Finance Administration Committee met July 6th at 8 a.m. I wasn't here for that. Phyllis gave us a lengthy review. Just to summarize, she reported cash of $13,470,000, of which $2.3 million is reserved for either projects intended to be done this year or money that's been put aside for projects for the future. Reviewing revenue and expenses, all the details that are in the minutes. We're fairly on budget for expenses and revenues. We're slightly behind in some of the revenues. However, we continue to benefit from the higher interest from the Pliget accounts that we've been doing. Currently, it's the Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust. And as of the budget period, we had budgeted $116,500 for interest, and we're now projecting for this year $504,000. So we got a $388,000 revenue stream that we had not anticipated, and somehow the infrastructure committee managed to figure out how to spend the majority of it. But what it's been able us to do is to add to some streets projects, some other projects that were in need that had not been budgeted. We're still running a surplus of about $83,000 to those projects. All of the projects for capital expenditure projects all seem to be on or below budget. I think the only one we did have was streets, and the 50/50 sidewalk ended up being higher than anticipated, but that's a good news. That means more people are fixing their sidewalks. And we used some of the revenue for that for, I think, Jim, 12,000, something like that, 12 or 13,000 over budget.
Yeah, but whenever the 14th is the last day for people to respond that they still want in after they got pricing. And there might be quite a few people that after they see the cost are not going to participate. So we don't know yet.
Okay.
For certain.
All right. Like I said, the details are in minutes, and there does not appear to be any red flags at this point that would indicate we have any kind of either major revenue shortfall or any over expenses that we have not accounted for. an issue did come up. We have a $2 million of what is currently invested in Pliget is coming due in July. $2 million is coming due July 12th, and it's the recommendation of Phyllis to hold that in a Pliget account, but not commit it to a time frame, since we've got some, now we're starting to get into some of our heavier expenditure areas. But Pliget does have a liquid account for 4.9%, which we would park the $2 million in, and I will make the motion that we park the $2 million in the Pliget non-committed dollar amount class fund at 4.9, and I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any question on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
We also have $1 million coming due on July 14th, and it's the recommendation that we invest that in Pliget for a November maturity, and that would be going in at 5.64%. What's going to start happening, that's probably going to be the last CD that we're going to invest that will bear the interest. We only realize the income from the interest when it matures, so we're probably going to start rolling some stuff over into January and February for next year, and we'll start seeing some of those things. And we won't have an excess of budget, because we'll probably be budgeting a little closer to some of these numbers, anticipating at least they're going to hold it for at least for next year, at least a portion of it. So we're making a recommendation to council to invest $1 million in the Pliget account that will mature in November at 5.64%. So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Further question on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Now, we did get news from Tompkins Bank that they did take our regular working accounts at the local branch, of which we still got a significant investment on an ongoing basis of about $4 million in there, and they've raised that to 4.25%. So we are going to realize some additional income from that through the end of the year, as long as those interest rates will hold. We have the final bill from Meister Cox for the Borough Hall and Police Department feasibility study in the amount of $7,525, and I'll make the recommendation that we pay that invoice.
Second.
Motion second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Derrick?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
Council President James?
Yes.
We also had to approve a resolution number 2023-17, a resolution of the Borough of Wyomissing revising and updating the borough's fee schedules. And the fee schedules, we're not going to go through reading the fee schedules, they're posted, and it's just for all the rentals and so on, permits.
It's any fee the borough could possibly charge is filled out.
And I will make the motion that that resolution be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 2023-17 passes.
And I think that's all we have unless there's questions.
I'll make a motion to approve the Finance Administration Committee report.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Durr. Ms. Baer, good evening.
Good evening, council and mayor. The joint municipal authority meeting minutes were received this morning and were sent to you electronically. I wanted to make you aware that a 2008 single axle dump truck was sold on Municipid for $25,400 to a John Halliday of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve accepting a 90-day extension letter received by the developer for the boiler building site House Island LLC through October 21st, 2023 for the Borough of Wyomissing Planning Commission and Council to take action on these submitted land development plans.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve issuing a refund check for $3,592.11 to the Valley Green Village for overpayment of a utility bill. They are a Pennsylvania American Water Company customer who is only charged for sewer. Due to a billing error, they were charged $3,592 more than what their bill should have been, which they paid, and then questioned. Our typical borough policy is when there's an overpayment like that, it sits as a credit on the account. However, their average monthly usage is between quarterly usage is $200 to $400, meaning it would take them 3+ years to use that credit. So their board has requested a refund check be issued.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Yes.
Councilmember Durr?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
Council President James?
Yes.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve sending a letter of appreciation to the Reading Orthodontic Group for the sponsorship of the borough's fireworks display held on July 3rd.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve adoption of resolution number 2023-18, a resolution of the Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, recognizing the dedication and contribution of Mark McLaughlin to the Borough of Wyomissing for his services in the tree department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 2023-18 passes.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve adoption of resolution number 2023-19, a resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Wyomissing, Berks County, Pennsylvania, adopting an updated open records policy for the Borough of Wyomissing. And this is to reflect business days to mirror current Borough Hall hours since Borough Hall hours changed.
Make that motion. Second.
Motion and second, is there a question on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 2023-19 passes.
And I'm respectfully requesting a motion to amend the agenda to request additional motions related to advertising and hiring a part-time rec director and advertising and hiring for a mechanic in the public works department.
I'll make, go ahead,
I made that motion.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Public comment.
Public comment with regards to
Chelsea.
the amendment of the agenda. Are there any public comments related to that? Okay, hearing none.
First, I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve advertisement and moving forward with the hiring process of a part-time rec director, effective hiring date September 1st or later.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Question on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I'm also respectfully requesting a motion to advertise and move forward with the hiring process, including a conditional offer letter and all pre-hiring background drug screening, physical, etc., being performed for a mechanic for the Public Works Department.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, I have nothing further for my report.
Make a motion to approve the manager's report.
Second.
Motion and second. Are there any further questions of the borough manager? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Bear. Okay. In your packet, you have the treasurer's statement of operation, including the general fund, Bureau of Water, sewer fund, highway aid, refuge recycling fund, and the road tax fund. Are there any questions to that report? Not entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Also in your packet is the accounts payable report, which is general fund, Bureau of Water Sewer Fund, Refuge Recycling Fund. And I'll entertain a motion to accept that.
Second.
Motion second, roll call please.
Councilmember Brunner?
Yes.
Councilmember Durr?
Yes.
Councilmember Mokel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
Council President James?
Yes. Okay, you also have the tax collector's report. Entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Is there any old business to be brought before council this evening? Okay, hearing none. Is there any new business? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. At this time, we'll entertain any public comments as they relate to non-agenda items. Anybody have any public comments? Please stand and give your name and address, please.
Sure, my name is Lesley Turner, I live at 1400 Dolphin Avenue, and this is my neighbor, Sue Dopsovic, 1420 Dolphin Avenue. So we're here to just bring to your attention, thank you for all your hard work, by the way, much appreciated. I don't like to be a complainer when all this nice hard work is going on, but we have a problem developing in the borough, and it has to do with cats. We have a known cat hoarder living on our block. Sue and I have taken upon ourselves to work with the Animal Rescue League to trap some of these, they're feral cats, that this woman is collecting. She leaves her windows open, they come in and out. We've estimated there's about 25 of them just in our block. Some of our neighbors have been feeding them, which is causing the population to grow. And just so you know, 25 cats can turn into 100 cats in about 8 weeks. So currently we have, I've read the ordinances, a lot of the ordinances that we have relating to pets refer to dogs being licensed and monitored in a way that we are suggesting we look into possibly monitoring cats that way in terms of licensing, limiting them. We talked to Kraft, who is responsible for enforcing our ordinances, and they said that, you know, when their typical process is to give a resident a 30-day warning. Well, in 30 days, we've already collected 6 cats, 3 were pregnant, 3 are toms. So we're feeling like we're starting to get the problem under control. But the other problem we're having is the Animal Rescue League apparently has a contract with Wyomissing Borough to do what's called a trap, neuter, release program, where they take the cats that we've trapped, they neuter them, they microchip them, they vaccinate them, and then I go and pick them up, or Sue picks them up, and we re-release them back into our area. And the nice thing about that is it keeps other feral cats from moving back in. So it's a great program. The problem is they can't take us any more cats until September. So we can't get it fast enough. So this is becoming a big problem. We're now, apparently, according to the recent Reading Eagle newspaper article, over 60,000 feral cats now in Pennsylvania, in Berks County. Certain blocks in Reading have 90 to 100 cats in one block. I don't want that happening in Wyomissing. I don't think any of us do. They're defecating in our backyards. They're spraying furniture. The smell is unbelievable, emanating from the epicenter of where this is happening on our block. The neighbors on either side have been dealing with this for over 20 years. So the other thing that is unbelievable is that this is a repeat offender, and the fact that she's given 30 days to rectify a situation where she is repeatedly violating the 4-cat minimum that or maximum that you're supposed to have in your home without being fined. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, wondering if there's something we could do to move towards making the same rules that apply for dogs apply for cats. They should not be allowed to roam the neighborhood and reproduce at the rate they do. It's really becoming a major nuisance in our community. So thank you.
Thank you. It does sound like a health issue.
Oh, it is.
To speak to the actual number, I know Jeff from Kraft was in touch with the ARL. Without the owner's consent, he can't just knock on the door and force entry to prove. So he was attempting to get a copy of the ARL's
They were there
paperwork.
yesterday, we viewed them going into the home yesterday. I was at the ARL today, dropping off a cat, picking one up, it's been neutered, re-releasing it tomorrow after its anesthesia is worn off. So I mean, this is an incredible burden, as you can, I have 2 dogs, I have enough to deal with them, and so now I have this cat project going on in my backyard. It's a lot, it's become almost a full-time job, and it's ridiculous.
Would you explain how this is not getting solved if you have animal rescue leave?
There's
and
so many
crap?
cats.
But if, at the end of 30 days, they only have to take 3 cats away, or how do you end up?
If they can't, there's no rule, there doesn't seem to be.
It doesn't get enforced. It's been an ordinance for many, many years. I've been living there for 40 years, so I dealt with her mother before. And then when she moved in, now she's doing the
So
same
who's
thing.
supposed to enforce this?
Well, we thought the borough was, and then we found out it was somebody named Kraft. And when we called Kraft, nothing happened. So what we like is the ordinance to be enforced. You're
So-
only supposed to have 4, and they're supposed to be kept on your property.
Okay,
And it doesn't happen.
I mean, we can discuss it as part of infrastructure's report and, well, add infrastructure as part of Craft's report. I actually dealt with this property owner myself back in 2013 and took her to court twice. Chris's office has intervened with her. Just because she was previously found guilty doesn't mean we don't have to start from square one every time the issue starts over. It is also extremely hard to prove those cats are hers. The only reason we were able to do that before is because another neighbor was willing to give me photographs and testify in court, as well as we were there at the right time, just by pure coincidence, to get photos of them in the window. So it's not that Kraft doesn't want to do anything, they have to treat this owner fairly under the letter of the law and the animal ordinance, and they have to be able to prove, if we would end up in court, that those are actually her cats, and that is very hard to do.
Well, if they're feral cats, how can they be her cats?
When I dealt with her in 2018 and 2013, she admitted to some extent they were her cats. I think she's wisened up, and there's potentially some mental health issues going on there as well. So depending what day you talk to her, the story changes.
So you have to start over, it doesn't sound like the problem's ever been resolved.
It was back in 2018 and 2013, I physically witnessed the ARL take the cats out of the home.
Yeah,
And
so
she was
next
found
week-
guilty through the court system, through the county court system actually. She went to Judge Taylor, she pled guilty, then appealed it, then went to the Court of Common Pleas and decided to just say the finding of
so we just have to start the process.
all over.
This happened with Judge Dockerty back in the 90s. I mean, it's.
Right, yeah, so we have addressed this in the past. We are aware it's going on again, so we will take, the appropriate action. And, we'll see, but it's gonna take some time, because we have to follow the rules.
Can we
Okay.
make sure that's part of infrastructure on Monday?
It should already be part of Craft's report. I mean, actually the property's been on their report for a few months now.
Well, then if it's on the report for 3 months, why are we starting the process over again?
Because they haven't actually been able to witness the cats coming from.
People are gonna take pictures or make a
We
movie or
have
something.
pictures, yeah, we have pictures.
But just a picture of a cat running in the neighborhood is not enough to go to Judge Taylor and find it.
So,
Any other pictures? Can somebody have a video of that window that's open, showing the cats running around?
Yeah,
are you supposed to capture, who's supposed to capture these cats?
the animal rescue league captures, the animal rescue league is supposed to be capturing them because they're so overwhelmed and we're so sick of it. They have loaned us traps and taught us how to do it ourselves. But it's a very, very time consuming and frustrating process.
And what did you do with the cats?
Yeah, and the way they become feral, just so you know, is when the kittens are born, she leaves her windows open, so they just roam freely, they become feral. That's how they become feral. Once they're a certain age, if they're roaming outside, they won't come in anymore, so they stay
Okay,
on their
if you
porch.
can help us, by, taking videos, pictures, anything that we can, use in the proper proceedings, with the district justice would be greatly appreciated. we will do our best, but we need help to
Is
cure
there-
this,
Is there
okay?
cost involved that you're picking up?
I had to put a deposit down for the traps that will be returned to me upon their removal. We have volunteers help in our block donating food to be able to use to trap them. So, I mean, it's not a huge financial
It's more
burden,
time
it's
than
the time. It's a full-time job doing this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have Michelle Bear's card, our borough manager?
I don't have one on me, but if you give me a couple of minutes, I can grab one.
Okay.
Or if you go on the website, her contact information is
Okay.
there.
Thank you.
If you have Jeff has my email address.
Yeah, I talked to Jeff.
Um,
It just, if we could revisit the ordinances and making the rules that apply to dogs,
Okay.
apply to cats.
We are,
that would help.
if you wish.
That was the ARL requesting that, by
Monday-
the way, through me.
Okay. We usually have a time limit here, but because this affects the entire borough, I've allowed you to extend that, past 5 minutes, but. We do have, infrastructure meeting that we've alluded to on Monday at 12 o'clock, here in the Borough, Council Chambers. You're more than welcome to come and, present any more information you may have at that time.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
What block is that? 1400 block. Dalton. She lives on the right side.
1413. She's at 1413.
You'll see which house it is. You'll see which house it is. You won't be any down.
Okay, are there any other public comments?
Yes, my name is Jaime Baez Jr. I'm just here on behalf of State Representative Johanny Cepeda-Freytiz. We're here to help with any state legislative needs that you might have. So I have some working for you pamphlets if anyone is interested.
Yeah, you want some hats?
They say working in the state legislature is like reading.
True.
I will say she did a wonderful job with her presentation at the 4th of July celebration. Okay, anybody else have anything? Mr. Jadic?
Yes. Good evening. A few things. First of all, thanks to Jaime for coming, and I hope you're going to come to every meeting from now on. What I wanted to comment about was I was pleased to see we have a new website or something similar, and now we're posting all the previous agendas and a lot of stuff, which is nice, which we didn't have before. So I don't know if this is, it will evolve, but it looks good. So that's, I'm pleased to see that. Next, I'm hoping that we will finally have enough space to have the council packet posted there before the meetings and other packs that are before committee meetings. Again, I commented before, having comments at the beginning of the meeting on agenda items without having the information defeats the purpose of having comments, because the public has no idea what has been talked about. Title is not enough. So in order to have a healthy conversation or a healthy comment, we need to know the meat of the problem. In the same sense, like we had tonight, we had a change in agenda item, but we did not know what that was about. So what I'm suggesting, of course, when you have a change in agenda item, you don't know, and I've had conversation with Councilman Dare about it. We don't know.
We don't know what it is either.
But then let's change the order. Let's change the order. So after we're presented with what it is, you guys can talk, and
That's
then you
not how
can
the
take.
state works.
1 second.
All right.
Okay? So we can, it's up to you to change these rules. It is really up to you. There are some laws, but they are not stopping you from doing this, because it makes no sense. We have no information, how can we come? So I'm sure the state does not intend that. I'm sure. I am absolutely sure, but we can look into it. And finally, again, it's a little bit linked. Past meeting, you approved a letter, from what I understood, by the engineer to DOT against a circle, a traffic circle at Penn Ave with State Hill. Frankly, I don't know, again, we did not know what that letter was about. That was not presented. Going through the right to know request to get the letter, it's a convoluted process. And this was a matter that was of interest to everybody. And I think that, I don't know what data was presented to you, but throughout the world, thousands of traffic engineers already know that a traffic circle eases congestion. And we have on Penn Ave, lines of cars all the way to the post office. On the Wyomissing Boulevard, the same thing. And your data is right there. There are no lines at the Centennial Circle, but there is a line at the stoplight. So you have the data. We need a traffic circle. To me, it makes sense that we need to ease the circulation, the traffic over there. I've heard, again, I don't know that a certain resident business in that corner was very opposed to that. I don't know. I have no information, but we cannot
Hey,
put the.
I'm your guy. I'm the one that proposed that, so talk to me.
I'll be glad.
Here's your
I'm
answer.
over his 5
Okay.
minutes because
Your time's
this is
up.
also, just like with the ladies before,
I'm saying
in the
your 5
interest
minutes is up, sir.
of the whole
Your 5
wine,
minutes
all
is up. It's
the,
at
all
my
the board.
discretion. At my discretion.
Yeah,
Your
well-
5 minutes is up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion, second. We are adjourned. Thank you one and all very much.